Uh, the definition of the achievement gap is the disparity between various student groups. And that means that between different races, genders, ethnicity, religion, there's different achieving rates for those groups compared to just the Caucasian population, I guess you would say, um, or um, the higher socioeconomic group. So the relevance to my life is that my brother, who is a superintendent in the northern part of Montana, he's a superintendent of 3 small schools, and he has told me multiple times that their funds are very inefficient and that he can barely get money to fund for his sports teams, his just even utensils, paper for his students. And another example is that my aunt, who is also a teacher in Montana, she is a special education teacher and she has actually taught in the Indian reservations. And she has said that there's no parent involvement, there's very, very low funds for schooling and resources, even. So that achievement gap is very, very high in those parts. My proposed solution is actually one that I read in the article by Burris, and she had stated that just by detracting the high school or the district curriculum, that you would find higher achievement by those groups. So the first act that needs to be in place for the detracting to occur is administration to be involved. They need to be the number one place that starts with implementing the workshops that are necessary for these students to get the help that they need. Then we also need teachers to make time out of their schedules for before and after school for these workshops. And also we need our teachers to be accredited information to close that achieving gap. Of course, funding is always an issue when it comes to education, and that funding would come into play with the resources that it takes for those workshops, and also just creating new classes and new curriculum called high tracking curriculum. The possible issues that I can see with this is the time that it takes. It can take probably a lot of time for you to see results, for the students to see results, and also not just time length wise, but time from the teachers spending overtime with the students and just the funds that may not be there for some of the schools. The the outcomes that we actually would like to see is obviously that achievement gap coming closer and closer to ending. We would like to see higher achieving or graduation percentages in those groups, in those minority groups, and we would just like to make sure that our community understands how important um, creating something to help abolish this achievement gap is very, very, very important. We need to start with workshops, start with just giving our students that opportunity to be able to achieve and to graduate and just to prove to themselves that they can do it, that they can be just like their friend Jimmy, who graduated and who may be white or who has money or who has all the things that he may not.